This is the era where artificial intelligence is shaping the future of humankind. It is appropriate that we have a basic and, if possible, thorough understanding of human intelligence. How do you define intelligence? Intelligence is defined as the ability to respond meaningfully to information. Who has intelligence? All life is intelligent. Unicellular organisms move away from toxins and towards sustenance. So there is a stimulus, a toxin, and the organism moves away. There is sustenance, there is food, and the organism moves towards it. Plants, well, plants are intelligent. They grew their roots towards water. They present their leaves, their foliage to sunlight for photosynthesis. Complex organisms were formed by the aggregation of unicellular organisms. Afterwards, there was specialization of function. And one of the functions that was specialized was command and control and decision making. That was cognition. So again, we had a complex organism which would aggregate information, which would make a decision, and then would act upon it. So we can define intelligence as a tripod. The first foot or the first leg is information acquisition and archival, that you collect information, and in more sophisticated animals, we record the information for further use. This information acquisition and archival, we have to understand that there is some inherited information or innate information. This information is specific to each species. We are born with some information. The infant grabs for his mother's nipple. He knows when to cry. There is a certain gait pattern that each form, each species will evolve naturally. So a brain is born with pre-recorded information, and then we have acquired information. We start acquiring information soon after birth. This information acquisition is both unstructured and structured. Unstructured information acquisition leads on to general awareness. We see what is around us. We see someone opening a door and realize that opening a door is done in a particular way and for a particular purpose. We see windows, we see light, we see diurnal variations, we see food. So generally we are aware of the environment we are in. The second method or group of acquired information is the phenomenon of structured information. That is a process which has been brought in by civilization. We can call it education. And after education, we have specialization. So information acquisition is adding on to the castle in our brains, in which we have storing information which we have acquired so that we can make a decision within the structure of the castle. So this information has to be archived or stored. Archival of information occurs in two methods. One is unique to humankind. That is, we have the ability to store information that we acquire in language form. And this is stored in an abstract form so that we can easily manipulate it to take decisions. The second kind of archival is the archival of multimodality information. What we see, we record. Each time when we record something, a gist of that or an abstract of that has also been recorded so that we can easily access our multimodality stores. The second part of intelligence, the second leg of the tripod of intelligence, is information processing and decision making. This component forms the difference between the intellect of different animals and humans. This can also be called the cognitive interface. So the cognitive interface tests and tries incoming information against archived information, both gist information and multimodality information. And then we come to a decision. So information and a decision involves two things. One is the information alone, and the other is ingrained value systems. So a decision making is not based on information alone. It is also based on a system of values which we aggregate. The third is action. Action involves the motor system, whether we speak, whether we move and move from one place to the other or perform a particular task, all that comes in action. Sometimes the action might be just not to do anything or inaction. And that time we might be just storing the information for further applications. There are three echelons of intelligence, or you can call it the hierarchy of intelligence. Most of our artificial intelligence and our computers work at the first echelon. The first echelon is information control. We have information all around us. Each species has a defined spectrum which is perceptible to the species. Hearing is in a particular range of decibels. Vision is in a particular spectrum. So this is the information that we can perceive. Each human, depending upon his environment, depending upon his areas of interest, also has got biases in information acquisition. When an engineer, a biologist, and an artist walk around a beach, each of them is acquiring information on the areas of his interest, with the rest just forming the background. So information is all around us and we need to record it and we can process it. Artificial intelligence mainly depends upon information or data processing, humongous capacity for storing intelligence, and rapid speeds for retrieval. They can outdo us in information processing anyway, but we have certain advantages which we'll come to in the next slide. The second echelon, or the second aspect of the hierarchy of intelligence, is knowledge. Knowledge is information which has been applied. And once you apply information, we get feedback. We realize what are our mistakes and we correct ourselves. So knowledge is information which is fine-tuned by application and feedback. Information, we use the information and then our information matures into knowledge. Today, artificial intelligence with general intelligence and superintelligence, machines are capable of learning from their mistakes and making corrections. The third aspect of intelligence, or the third aspect of the hierarchy of intelligence, the third echelon, is the echelon of wisdom. This is something a machine cannot possess. Wisdom is knowledge tempered with values. These value systems are ingrained in our genome. We are born with a set of values. Each neonate has a personality. As we grow up, even without training, we have those basic values which we evolve and which we develop. So wisdom is innate in life forms. In highly evolved species, it is more complex. So let us have a quick look as to how human intelligence plays off against artificial intelligence. In information management, AI systems, computer systems, the cloud have a vast superior data processing ability because you have humongous amount of data which can be stored and retrieved at will. Human intelligence seems to be limited, but then we should not ignore the ability to forget. The ability of humans to forget is the ability of humans to prioritize what is right and what is wrong, what is worth remembering and what is not worth remembering. Existing artificial intelligence models are programmed. You feed in data, and the data can be processed by the computer and retrieved. In artificial general intelligence, the machines are being taught to be able to teach themselves. But remember, they are still learning from what knowledge is available. So, artificial intelligence focuses on knowledge processing. What data is available can be retrieved, it can be manipulated, and it can be projected forwards for incremental improvement. In the game playing computers, chess, all human champions can be beaten by chess machines. Go is a game which is played in South Asia, which is more complex than chess. Google's AlphaGo and AlphaGo Zero are now programming themselves to learn to play Go. You just tell the rules of the game to the machine, and the machine will play against itself and be able to beat any of the humans. So, artificial intelligence learns, but it learns from what is available. Humans have the intellect to tap machine sources for information. So, though our capacity for information storage seems to be limited, we have access through computers, through artificial intelligence. So, they are our servants to augment our intellectual potential. What computers sometimes lack is an awareness of uh, concept awareness and concepts. Context is something that is available because humans have general intelligence and we have a general awareness. When we learn, we have general awareness. We learn from our environment and we have structured which teaches us in a pedagogic manner along specializations and education. So, knowledge learning without general awareness is one of the major setbacks of a computer because it cannot see things in context. It cannot really understand as to what is happening. Humans effortlessly switch from multimodality data to language data. When we see something, our brain is automatically converting it into abstract language forms. So we think in language and then we access information in multimodality forms. Artificial intelligence is now evolving large visual models, which are the equivalent of LLMs or large language models, do human recognition, face, gait, and general appearance by converting the visual data into language forms and then reconverting it back into a visual form. But that is still primitive. Humans, we do it effortlessly. And one aspect about intelligence, which a machine can never get, is the aspect of wisdom. It is a property of life and cannot be programmed into machines.